Happy Thursday and welcome to Sacred Place Live. I'm Matthew, your host. On Tuesday, I went live, but apparently there was no audio. I could hear it on my end and it showed that it was sending the signal, but it didn't work for everyone. Or anyone, I guess, actually. Didn't go through to Facebook or YouTube. So today, I hope that we won't have any trouble. If we do, someone can text me, and hopefully I'll see that. I think everything's good on Facebook, so I should be able to see those comments too. Yeah. Cool. So I'm going to condense what I was planning for today with what I already said on Tuesday so that we cover it all. We begin now with the story of Hannah. We skip ahead from the story of the golden calf with Moses leading the people through the wilderness, forward through the time of the judges, now to the time preparing for the kings. God's people have ruled themselves with a series of judges, but continue to ask for a king. We see Hannah, this woman who we'll read about in a moment. Her story is important to the story of the Hebrew people, the Israelites. We so often skip over it, but I think it's an important one. Let us prepare to hear this story with a song.
Take my life and let it be consecrated, Lord, to Thee. Take my moments and my days, let them flow in ceaseless praise. Take my hands, let them move at the impulse of Thy love. Take my feet and let them be swift and beautiful for Thee. Take my voice and let me sing, always only for my King. Take my lips and let them be filled with messages from Thee. Take my silver and my gold, not a mite would I withhold. Take my intellect and use every power as You choose. Here am I, all of me. Take my life, it's all for Thee. Take my will, make it Thine, it shall be no longer mine. Take my heart, it is Thine own, it shall be Thy royal throne. Take my love, my Lord, I pour at Your feet its treasure store. Take myself and I will be ever only all for Thee. Here am I, all of me. Take my life, it's all for Thee. Take my life and let it be consecrated, Lord, to thee. Take my moments and my days, let them flow in ceaseless praise.
One time, after eating and drinking in Shiloh, Hannah got up and presented herself before the Lord. Now Eli the priest was sitting in the chair by the doorpost of the Lord's temple. Hannah was very upset and couldn't stop crying as she prayed to the Lord. Then she made this promise: Lord of heavenly forces, just look at your servant's pain and remember me. Don't forget your servant. Give her a boy. Then I'll give him to the Lord for his entire life. No razor will ever touch his head. They got up early the next morning and worshipped the Lord. Then they went back home to Ramah. Elkanah had sex with his wife Hannah, and the Lord remembered her. So, in the course of time, Hannah conceived and gave birth to a son. She named him Samuel, which means, I asked the Lord for him. So, this story of Hannah is an important one because she is the mother of Samuel, who would become an important figure later. But we don't get as much of her backstory in our selection of the text today. So I'll summarize it for you real quick. So Hannah is one of the wives of Elkanah. Her sister wife has borne multiple children, but Elkanah loves Hannah most. He sees that she is unhappy and asks if his love is not enough for her. She finds that he can't heal this desire in her life to be a mother. So she turns to who she knows will answer, her God. As she prays to the Lord in the temple, Eli, the priest there, hears. They later have an encounter, which we'll talk about tomorrow, but Hannah pleads God to ask for a son. And she promises that if God answers her prayer, she will dedicate her child to the Lord. That he, because she does ask for a boy, will be given to the service of God. We find out later that she does indeed get pregnant. When she and her husband are intimate, it says the Lord remembered her, and in due time she bore a son. Even in naming him, she bestows the story of God's blessing on him. Now, this story could be seen as something that I don't think it should be. It can be reduced to, if you ask God faithfully, God will answer and you'll get what you asked for. I have seen many churches which preach that story. But that's not what it means to be God's people. I think what happens here is that Hannah makes a promise, and she trusts deeply in God, knowing that this need that runs deep in her won't be ignored. God will answer her. Maybe not in the way she wants, but she has faith that she is asking something good and righteous. And indeed, God answers. And she upholds her promise. The thing that I think is important here is Hannah's deep faith. She knows that this desire within her is a calling from God. And so she turns to God for equipping her, for bringing what seems impossible to her, so that she can live out her promise to God. I think her attitude is one that we would do good to adopt ourselves. Not trusting in God blindly or so deeply that we become complacent or pushovers or inactive in our own lives. But instead, asking God to give us what we need so that we can do what we are called to do for God. This story reveals a little bit of who we are to be as God's people, and even how our God interacts with us. Tomorrow we will look at Hannah's response, who she believes God to be even more clearly, because God has answered her. I hope you will join me tomorrow at 3:30. 1, I think, is about what time it goes live on Facebook. It takes a minute to get going. I look forward to being with you. Tomorrow is also the beginning of our small group, the Sacred Place Book Club. More information about that is on our website. I'm not exactly sure what time they meet. I think it's about 8 o'clock. That'll be confirmed on our website. This time, they are going through the book Just Faith. Important in this season where politics and justice are at the forefront of all of the news and how we try and interact with it. I hope you will join this study if a book club is something that is interesting to you, or if this topic is interesting to you. Next week, we're only going to have one live stream of Sacred Place live. It'll be on Thursday at 3:30. We're going out of town to have a time of vacation, so I will be away, leaving work behind so that I can refresh and renew. So Thursday you can tune in live at 3:30 or delayed whenever you can. I hope that you will join in that time. And each and every Sunday at 10:30, we gather as a family, all of us, new and old, first time and long time visitors, for a way of being digitally together. Though we cannot be physically close to one another, we can see each other face to face on Zoom. Those details are also on our website at yoursacredplace.org. For kids, 9 a.m. on Sundays is our story time when we can gather with our kids and let them have fun together. This is your sacred place.